Hello everyone, it's Sagrannus here once again, and we are here with our demo impressions for this weekend. Now, I'm going to admit that this isn't actually my first play of this demo. We had some irritating audio issues with the original recording of this demo, so we're going to be doing it a second time. So what we're going to do is we're going to play through the tutorial, and then we're going to show you a bit of the competitive battles. I will say, straight off the bat, even if you don't like puns, you've got to admit that Conflicks is quite good because the how to say this? The concept behind the game is flicking, which sounds initially like something you're going to use a tablet for, but on PC it's fine. But actually, it does, as I said, it works just fine on PC. It's a very interesting concept. It's sort of like a hell of an AU, actually, in that basically Leonardo da Vinci came up with metamatter using X, and since then the course of history has changed, and there's galactic empires and everything by the late 18th century. So it's a very interesting setting, and aesthetically, it's very nice. So that's what drew me to it. I was looking, of course, as I do on the Steam page, looking at the demos, and went, well, why not try this? And I have to say, compared to the demos we've been looking at recently, this has got to be the most well presented, as we're about to see by looking at our tutorial here, which we will dive into. So as you can see, the art style is interesting. I'll let him talk though.
Just so you know, I'm not just any old talking owl. I've got the transplanted brain of the famous philosopher John Locke in me. Well, they could only salvage 95% of his grey matter, actually. I guess that's why they call me Unlucky Locke. Speaking of being unlucky, I have been informed that you must annihilate a battleship from the Celestial Empire that's hiding over in that asteroid before
okay, so
battleship.
what this tutorial does is actually very, very good.
First.
It's going to talk you through four of the basic ship types initially, and then actually add some more later.
Reserve. This incredible substance made from egg yolk can shape reality. You can pan the camera with the help of the tribe.
So the controls are actually very well thought out, and nice and smooth. Very, very nice.
Stupendous.
Just good.
Now that you know the basics,
as you might notice, we're playing a tutorial. It's not only a good tutorial, but has good voiceovers to help us as well, which is fantastic, and not something you see overly often in this series. So yeah, it's good. So here's where we get to the big mechanic, which of course is what the demo has to sell to us, and that is the flicking system. So as you pull it out, it gives you range, and you've got to try to work out where to point it, because only some ships will give you sort of navigational assistance. So we throw ourselves in there, hold down space where it drops us into the circle. And yeah, this is, sorry, I preempted him, so...
To the next circle, but this time, hold down spacebar so the camera follows the ship. In Conflicks, each action has a metamatter cost, indicated by the yellow dots around their action icon. Your flagship has its own. Each action also has a cooldown time, represented by a circular gauge around. Now, let's see how you handle yourself in a combat situation.
No worries. So it's very procedural in the way it's getting you to do things. It's very well ordered, it's logical, and the instructions are very clear, which is excellent. And yeah, as you can see, this would obviously work very well on tablet, which is a good thing, I guess, if you're not a PC gamer, but my audience probably is primarily PC gamers. So we activate the torpedo, same thing as before, and you can govern the range like that, and we're going to go for that, and dunk. And what we've done is we've actually knocked him into the planet.
One hit ship down, 2 to go. The second ship we are going to use is
so patrol ships are a bit different. So this is where it gets a bit trickier, because at this range it's easier to miss your target. But we should make it, and very good, there we go. Wonderful.
for the winning range.
So the actual presentation of information is very good because the shields sort of, they don't interfere with the overall look of things, but it's still providing a good bit of feedback, which is absolutely excellent.
Good job. Now, for that last hinship, we'll use a Corvette. The Corvette has a good range, a good armament, and a pretty resistant shield too. What's this? A wormhole!
Now wormholes actually play a big role, as you'll see soon.
Select your Corvette and flick it into the wormhole to the left while holding down spacebar the whole time. So
And I have to say that I quite like the mechanics well enough done, and sort of it gives enough feedback that the flicking actually is quite enjoyable to do. Obviously this is quite slow paced though.
Try to bump head on into the enemy
So
with your Corvette.
let's get in.
It'll crash onto the planet.
So it's good that the ships can actually use sort of melee attack, I guess,
Impressive.
as it were.
Now that the planet lacks any sort of defense, let's chickaform it by sending.
So of course there's a lot of chook stuff going on here.
And they can make any. Select your hen chip and try to flick it onto the resupply station to the top of the screen.
So about there. Oh, I missed it. This is the one flaw in it, in that it gives the instructions again, even though clearly I knew what I was doing, I just didn't get it quite right. So this time we should be bang on target. There we go, wonderful.
When a ship stops on top of a resupply station, it can be flicked.
This is quite an important thing to take note of, that
without costing any matter.
it basically gives you free transport, and some ships have a much shorter range.
Flick your hen ship to the target in close orbit to the planet.
So it's fairly intuitive, and what isn't intuitive is explained well enough. And there we go. We're going to start chickaforming.
Process has commenced. First, your hen ship must remove any remaining enemy chickens. You can see how far along the cleansing process is with the gauge in the middle of the planet. The more hen ships you have chickaforming the same planet.
So everything, like, it's nice that it actually animates, has all the chickens there, because, I mean, they could have got away with it just beaming at the planet and doing a countdown or something. But no, it's all these little details that are really helping immerse you, and as a demo, involve you in the game, and then, of course, you're firing chooks at a planet as well, which is a bit weird.
It also expands the capacity of our metamatter reserve. With a larger capacity, we will be able to perform more actions and create advanced ships. The planet is ours! But what's that? Our enemy is taking
So we're
advantage
under
of the
attack.
world. We'll show them. Double click on the pyroclastic flow.
So I'll just fire that.
of your
So
flagship.
double click, and nice big explosions. And of course the passive guns took out the rest. So now we're going to create ships, and this is everything flicks in this game. So you even flick your building and your construction orders. Some very nice animations there, obviously, which is also good.
Frigates can travel vast distances.
And then we're going to create a destroyer.
Together with tractor beams. Now, let's create a destroyer, the same way you just did a destroyers are very powerful vessels and have a lot of firepower. However, they are quite since the destroyer
Okay, so all moves, unless you're going to supply stations, use meta matter, which is, it's nicely demonstrated down here, so you can keep an eye on it.
Perform a flick with your frigate. Don't forget to get the destroyer in range of your tractor beam.
There we go.
The
Fired that
frigate
off.
is now towing the destroyer. You select your frigate, choose the propel action, and flick
So,
it to the
as you can
destination
see,
at the top right
with the
near
frigate,
enemy
you actually get
battleship.
some nav assist, so it tells you where you're pointing, which is very, very helpful because it's a
Simply
long-range
activate
ship.
the
So we
navigation
fire away,
assist.
and it actually will
Double
tow the
click
destroyer in there,
corresponding
Walrus,
action
which
icon.
is excellent.
Before the
And stop.
That, my friend, was one hell of a flick.
And then we just need to detract to him.
Time for the final
And now
showdown.
we're going to see some
Select your
impressive stuff.
destroyer, launch a repulsion torpedo at the enemy battleship, then sit back and watch the fireworks.
So just like that. Now where are we firing? We're firing at that battleship there, so fire away. And spacebar will let us follow the shot. We didn't actually hit the target, but the damage got it.
Is ours. With the maneuvers I have taught you, you are ready to lead your very own space fleet. What happens next?
Excellent. So that's the tutorial. Now, I could leave it there, but I'm not going to. So it's got this nice information here, this information here, and it just it gives you a few little bits more detail that the tutorial didn't. And I'm actually going to say that's a good thing. They could have told you all of this in the tutorial, but it would have blown out the length of the tutorial a bit. Do you really need to be guided like that very hands-on manner for hotkeys and things? So it's nice that they've sort of abbreviated some of it, so you get quite a punchy, quick tutorial, which is fantastic, because so often tutorials are extremely dull, but it was interesting, it was relatively amusing, and showed off a lot of what the game is. So we're just going to quickly jump into a competitive battle. I won't play through the whole thing because they can take a bit of time. I found the last time I tried to record this. But basically we're going to jump in, and it's a symmetrical battlefield, and it's got planets and everything, so you can take control of them, and you build up, and yeah, we're just going to go against the AI. We'll just show you this. So you start off with just that command ship, and then you build a few ships to work with and go from there. So here we go, portaling in. So first thing first, I'm going to build a hen ship. So let's have a look at this map. So move around. So there's a little planet here and a big planet there. So we're going to go for the little planet first, I think. Which will take a few. Actually, I might go this way, because that can get us to that planet. Just hop him over there. While it's doing that, I'm going to flick out a torpedo ship, and then we can actually drop in here. We're going to run into a bit of conflict here because Albrecht is also doing the same, so I'm actually going to be shooting his chickens as he's trying to build up. That's alright. I'll hop my torpedo freed up and also create a corvette. Ah, messed that up. Oops, so now we're going to have to wait that. So the moves obviously have to cool down. So we're getting into a bit of conflict over here. Let's see if we're going to have my corvette a bit better. There we go, drop that one there. So obviously, it's going to take practice to get you flicking right, which is actually nice because it adds a sort of a skill ceiling challenge as well, which is always nice. So he's in range of that one, so I'll fire him over and miss, of course. It's okay because a very short hop there. Shoot him over. And I'm going to order another torpedo ship. Fire that one out. Bang. I actually managed to knock myself into orbit and lost my ship because of it. So I'm going to torpedo him. Firing the torpedo knocks him back, which is good. Firing across. Now the torpedoes haven't realised that we'll put on his chameleon cloaking, which makes him invisible for a bit, which will be to our advantage, and fire another torpedo out, blowing him up. Now he's got a torpedo he can fire, so we're going to fire that at them, hopefully knock it into orbit. Yep, there we go, except that he got teleported back by the enemy command. So as you can see, the battle, you've got to concentrate on building up the base and everything, as well as, you know, actually getting a, build another hen ship. See if that helps. Now you might have noticed that the wormhole is popping in and out. So it actually is a sort of a dynamic feature on the map, so it changes where you can travel. They're all color coded, so you've got pink ones to go pink, blue to blue. All of that logical kind of stuff. Okay, gonna need another torpedo. Took him out. So as you can see, and basically build up scores and whoever gets the top wins. But I'm not going to keep playing, just because that's, I think, demonstrated enough of what it is. You can see the amazing sort of stylized art that we've got here. It looks great. So we're going to go back to the main menu so I can just sort of wrap things up. So Conflicks is available on Steam. I'm going to be chucking a link in below. It is a demo I would recommend. In fact, it's one of these games. The demo is really good. It's well presented, looks good, introduces you to the game mechanics very, very well, keeps you interested, and isn't too sort of drawn out in the tutorial bits, which is really, really good. But because of the mechanics, it may be advisable to definitely sort of go towards trying the demo first before just buying. I mean, it's not a very expensive game, but I know some people who would find this sort of gameplay very frustrating and would probably be a bit annoyed if they paid for it, even with Steam refunds. If the demo's there, I always prefer to do the demo. So I definitely recommend the demo, and if you enjoy it, I really recommend it because this has very high production values. It's clearly been worked on very hard. Remember, when talking about production values, we're not necessarily talking about just money, but just how much effort and care goes into it. This game was clearly made by a team who love what they're doing, and had a very clear vision of what they wanted to achieve, and have seemingly achieved that. So I definitely say this is the best demo I've tested in quite a while. So I definitely recommend checking it out. Check out the link below. Don't forget to subscribe and like my videos, and I'll see you tomorrow for our next Let's Play video. Thanks guys, catch you next time.